Okay, I'm covering now page number 9, number 2. All right, this one says 2a plus 1 over 5a minus 1 equals 1 over 3. What is the value of a? So in this case, you have the answer choices, because in the answer choices, you don't plug in your own number, which is, some of you guys might have been like, oh, a is 2. But then if you plug in 2 for there's no variable left over. So you can't plug in your own number. You only plug in a number when there's a variable in the answer choices. And here you see that there are no variables. They're all straight up numbers. Okay? So what you would do is you would start with a, and then you would have to plug in -4 here, and then try it one by one, okay? So let's do that. 2 times, and by the way, no calculator is allowed on this. 2 times -4 plus 1 over 5 times -4 minus 1. If that equals 1/3, we know that A is gonna be the answer, okay? So 2 times -4 is -8 plus 1 is -7, okay? Then this is gonna be 5 times -4 is -20, minus 1 is going to be -21. Okay, that right there, -7 over -21, it does equal 1/3 because the negatives cross each other out and become positives. The 7 goes into 7 once, the 7 goes into the 21 3 times. There you go, you found your match, and thankfully it is answer A. Okay, let's try number 4. Page number 9, number 4. Okay, y equals -x, and then y squared minus 6 equals x. Okay, so it says if xy is a solution to the system of equations above, which of the following includes all possible values of x? So you got all these answer choices, which I am going to write down because you could see the process of elimination thought that's going through my head. You got 2 and 3, 2 and -3, -2 and 3, and then -2 and -3. Okay, so what they're saying is try x equals, because all of these are possible values of x. Let's label, okay? All of these are possible values of x, the 2 or the 3, the 2 and the -3, okay, in those sets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with trying this one right here. Okay, so if x is going to be 2, if x is going to equal 2, and this side has to equal that side, what does y have to equal, everybody?
3.
No, think about it. Y is here equals -2. So what does y equal? I just said it. Y equals -2. So look, do you get it? We're taking the 2 and we're putting it right here and replacing it with the x. So if x equals 2, then y will equal -2. Okay? So if x equals 2, then y equals -2. Do you guys all understand that portion right there? Okay, so then what you would have to do is plug in that number. You could plug in either one, okay? So you could take your -2 and plug it in to the system of equation up here. And if it's true, then you know it works, okay? So we're going to take our y squared right here. I'm going to rewrite it here. Y squared minus 6 equals x. Y squared is -2. -2 squared minus 6 equals x. Is this true? -2 times -2 is +4. Minus 6 equals, does that equal 2? It equals -2. So this does not work. So x as a 2 doesn't work. So if you cross out A, you could also cross out B. Do you get that? Because B has a 2 right there. Cross that out. So we could eliminate A and B just off of that. So next, let's try the number 3. Okay, so let's just try number 3 right here, since this is another choice. If I put right here a 3, x equals 3, so this is my second attempt. If x equals 3, then y is going to equal -3. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to plug it back into this. Y squared, so that's going to be -3 squared. I'm plugging these numbers back into this original one to see if it works. Negative 3 squared minus 6 equals x, which is going to be 3. This is going to be 9 minus 6 equals 3. 3 equals 3. This one does work. And therefore, this is the correct answer. Okay, for number 8, I actually just did this algebraically, which I'm not supposed to do for you, but I just was not feeling math yesterday, and it was way easier for me to do it this way. And so I'm just going to teach you how I did this algebraically. Okay, they want to know what is this number. So this is going to be number 8, by the way. On the same page, page 9. It says negative 4 is less than or equal to 2f plus 8 over negative 3, which is less than or equal to 4 over 3. Okay? Now let's just go over some inequality laws. Whenever you divide or multiply by a negative number, you always have to switch these signs, and you need to be so meticulous and careful about that. Okay? The first thing that I do not like about this question is the fact that there is a denominator. That makes math hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything, because if you multiply one thing, you got to do it to all of them by negative 3, so I could get rid of this denominator right here. Okay? So I'm going to multiply this by negative 3. I'm going to multiply this by negative 3. Remember, there's like an invisible 1 underneath. I'm going to multiply this by negative 3. Okay? But because I multiplied it by negative 3, remember the rule I said if you multiply or divide, I need to switch the signs. So before I even do any math, I recommend that you switch the signs now, or you will get duped later. Okay? Now these two negative 3's will cancel out, and I'm going to be left with a 2f plus 8 in the middle. And then this 3 and this 3 is going to cancel out, but it's going to leave the negative there, so that's going to be a negative 4 on this side. A negative times a negative is a positive, so 4 times 3 is going to be a positive 12. Okay, so from here, if you look at all the answer choices has an F by itself in the middle. So how do I isolate the F? I got to subtract out the 8 on all sides. That's going to turn this into a 2F is less than, so it's going to be 4 on this side, and it's going to be a negative 12. And then I want to take out the 2 because I want to further isolate my F. Divide out the 2, divide out the 2. This is going to leave me with 2 is greater than or less than, greater or equal than to F, which is greater than or equal to negative 6. Go look at your answer choices. Which one is this? It is answer C. Yes, answer C is written in the opposite way, but just remember, where is the point pointing to? To the negative 6. So you know that this was just flip-flopped, okay? So if you just flip-flop it, it'll be answer C. Okay, the last one is going to be page number 9, number 10. It says, in her physics class, Tori conducted a number of experiments to determine the correct equation to describe the trajectory of a ball that was thrown straight up from a height of 4 feet above the ground with an initial velocity of 20 feet per second. All of that was just blah, 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 blah. It had nothing to do with what you need because they end up giving you the theorem anyways. I'm not saying to disregard it all the time when they have a sentence out there, but for this one, you see that they end up giving you the theorem, which is going to be H equals 4 plus 20t minus 5t squared, where H is going to be the height and t is going to be the time. Okay, so it says that which of the following values for t will the ball have the greatest height? Okay, so we want to find the greatest height, which is right here, that number. We want to find which one is going to be the largest one, A, B, C, and D. So t equals 0, t equals 1, t equals 2, t equals 3. You will literally take 0 and you will plug it in. If you do this, if you plug 0 into here, that's going to make it a 0, that's going to make it a 0. H is going to equal 4. Okay, so just leave that there and see if that ends up being the highest. Then you have to do this, plug in the 1, so it's going to be 4 plus 20 minus 5. Okay, because the 1 squared times the 5 just equals 5. And that's going to come out to H equals 19. Then you will have to go and you're like, okay, it's going up higher. Let me see if it continues. So plug in the next one, the 2 here. Okay, I got to do the math out like this now because I can't do it in my head. Okay, this is going to be 4 times 5 is minus 20, and this is going to be 40. So this comes out to 20 plus 24. So this one equals 24. Yes, it is getting higher. So far this one is the highest one. Let's go to D. We're going to take this number and we're going to plug it into all the t's. 4 plus 20 times 3 minus 5 times 3 squared. Okay, 3 squared is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. This equals 60. So this itself reduces to 15. 4 plus 15 is 19. It went right back down. So which one out of which one of these is the highest one? And it would be answer C.